So in 1995, I was a single mom with a 3-year-old child, and I woke up one morning and my home was on fire, and I couldn't get in there to get my son. They went in and very quickly concluded that it was an arson. I mean, like 2 hours after the fire. And there was no other suspects except me, who ran out of there with my hair singed and barefoot, screaming, trying to get help. And so quickly, I was the person because I survived. And I was charged with murder and arson. I was sentenced to 60 years in prison. And I was pregnant with my second child when I got there. So actually, in 2 hours, they came into my hospital room and told me that it was an arson and somebody had intentionally came in to murder me and my child. And they wanted a list of all my family and friends. So they took every single person that would have supported me in that moment and made me look at them like a suspect. And I pulled away. I mean, I'm in shock. I lost everything. My little boy was everything. I mean, I changed my life when I found out I was going to have Tony. He certainly wasn't expected, but I wanted him as soon as I found out he was there. So I was barely keeping my head up when he was gone. Every day I imagine who he would have been, what he could have contributed to the world, and what I lost, because he may have been married by now and I may have had grandkids, and you know, he could have done something incredible to change the world. And when I go speak now and people join the fight and they step up to help others, that's his. He gets that. He's the one that started that. And it's all for him, because I don't want to feel like our story and those 17 years was wasted. We have to bring something out of that. From the start, as soon as I was arrested, that was the headlines, that I was guilty, that I said things that I didn't say, that, you know, what my character was, or how I looked, or how I dressed, how I carried myself. I mean, that's definitely the difference with women exonerees versus men, because with women, it's easier to character assassinate them and paint them out to be something evil. And once that happens, it doesn't matter what the evidence says. If a jury believes, oh, you're this evil person, you're guilty. But I always grew up trusting the police and trusting our system. So my initial thought was, you know, the truth's going to win out. They're going to see that I'm innocent. There's no way I could be convicted of this. And obviously I was. What should have been done was truly trained fire investigators should have came in, investigated the fire, and had the opportunity to determine that it truly was an accidental electrical fire. Instead, we had somebody that was trained on the job and not certified, and he walked in and said, look at these patterns, this is an arson. One of the best days I had was the day that I found out that my family had gotten my son after I gave birth in the hospital, because I was so afraid that I would, you know, somebody would take him and I would never get to see him. So that was the best day. The worst day was also the same, because I gave birth and I knew that I would immediately lose my child.
What's your relationship with him now?
I mean, it's good now. Obviously, you know, I'm never getting back those moments that I missed. I walked out to a 16-year-old, and right at this moment, I'm grateful that he's 22 now, and he wants to hang out with his mom, and he's proud of his mom and the work that I do. That means a great deal to me. It's more of a relationship than I thought we would ever have.